All right, this is a graphic video for some, so be warned, this is a prolapse of a Coturnix quail. So I'm warning you right now, it is a little bit graphic, but this is kind of an emergency situation. So I had to address it immediately. So hopefully this helps somebody out if you ever get in this type of situation. Thank you and enjoy the video. All right, got to do this really fast, but I had a bird prolapse as I was doing my sort. She's got an egg. So what are we gonna do here? Look here, I'm gonna show you. Look right here, this is very serious. She has an egg in this, and this is what happens a lot of times. They're pushing, an egg comes out. Right here is the vent side the egg's gonna come out. So I'm going to very gently get this egg out, because I'm never gonna get this prolapse back in. Bam, egg is out. Not gonna worry about the egg anymore. We're just gonna put that down. Now, she's bleeding a little bit because it was a full prolapse. And luckily, she is actually retracting. And these are new layers. So we're gonna give her a second. I'm just gonna massage around her vent. I'm gonna let her pull it back in. Just gonna massage around it. You can see she's contracting, trying to pull that back inside, and they will. She's calm now. I was massaging her, trying to get her to calm down. And she is pulling everything back in. You wanna make sure it's clean. There is a little bit of bleeding, unfortunately. Now, if you have to, you can very gently press everything back in, and bam, crisis averted. She's gonna be just fine. You do not have to cull a bird just because it prolapsed. This bird is a new layer, and what's happened is I am out here sorting them. It stressed her, she pushed, and she prolapsed. But she's gonna be perfectly fine. It's very rare that I've had an issue. I've been doing this for several years, and there's only been one bird that have actually had to cull because she prolapsed and she got an infection. So we're gonna get her. She's nice and calm, as you can see. She's not pushing out anymore, she's relaxed. So I'm gonna put her over here in the pen with the other birds. This brings us to our next question. Why is she bleeding? Well, she's starting to lay eggs. You will come out, and especially when I have, I've got white birds, I see red. When they first start laying, I have noticed that some of them do bleed. But I have, again, haven't had infection, keep the pen nice and clean, so they stay very healthy. Prolapse does not mean you have to cull the bird. A lot of people get that mistaken. Now, if she was unable to pull her vent back inside, I would have assisted. I would have gently massaged everything back in. I would have been calm with her, put her back down, and I probably would have watched her a little bit just to make sure everything didn't come back out. But a lot of times, they're either trying to lay an egg or it's stress driven when they prolapse. Today, I've actually had a couple of these new layers prolapse on me because I'm sorting them, I'm stressing them, they're pushing out. But that bird right there was a little bit more serious situation because she physically had an egg, was bleeding. Got the camera as soon as possible, started recording as soon as possible so we could address it immediately. And which you want to do that, but you have to stay calm when you're doing so. You don't want to stress the birds at all, any more than what we're already doing. And as you see, calmed her down, gently massaged the egg out. And if you look, we'll look back, but there's actually one spot they poo, and then there's one spot that an egg comes out. When all that pushes out, you got to identify which side it is so you can gently massage the egg out of her. Because there's no way I would have been able to get that pushed back inside. It was ready to come out. But that was my excitement today, and I'm going to continue sorting my birds. I've been I'm just going to go back and say this, very blessed that it has been a rare moment in all the birds that I have bred and hatched and grown out that I've had a prolapse. Most of the time it happens when I'm handling them. I'm causing them stress, they're tensing up, and they're pushing the vent, and they're prolapsing. It seems to be unusually common for this to happen with my birds, but there's only been one time, one time that I've had a prolapse. When I came out, the egg was busted, the prolapse got really dirty, the vent, everything was really dirty from the bird walking around. Again, I'm just gonna emphasize that I immediately brought the bird in, I cleaned her up really well, washed it, tried to massage the shell, which was challenging, but tried to get everything out of her. It did not end well. Unfortunately, that bird did eventually get an infection, and I had to cull her. But I'm just going to emphasize, I see a lot of people saying, oh, they're prolapsed, cull them. You don't have to do that. As you've seen in the video, you can massage everything back in, but watch the bird. If this was to happen, even if I was handling them and they weren't, pulling the vent back inside of them, and I noticed if I ever were to come out and the bird had prolapsed again, I probably would end up culling the bird if this became a frequent issue. But if it's a new layer, you might want to take the time to try to help that bird and save them. The reason why I'm saying that is because, as I know very well, when they first start laying, their bodies are developing and learning how to lay eggs. So, just like anything, just like them learning how to print their eggs, their bodies have to adjust to that. So they might be prolapsing, and it might just be because they're weakened down there. They could be stressed. As you've seen, sometimes they do bleed. Unfortunately, I notice that more than others because I have white birds. It's very, very noticeable. And again, out of all the birds that I've come out and I've seen blood on, and I have had no issues. And probably one of the key reasons why is because I tend my pens, I keep them very clean. I'm adding bedding, taking care of them, keeping the smell down. It is a lot of work to keep a healthy environment for your birds, especially when you have 60 in a grow out pen, which that's a lot of birds in this, what I consider a small pen. I'm gonna be building a larger one soon. But take the time, put the work in. Again, prolapse does not always mean cold. I probably had 6 birds prolapse while I was handling them and cleaning their feet, and I'm not gonna cull them. They're perfectly fine. Again, it was just them stressed, tensing up, pushing their vent out, and they prolapsed. So, hopefully this helps somebody out. Stay calm, take care of them, enjoy the video, and like and subscribe.